Well, I think we should say good morning or good afternoon from Hong Kong. Anyway, it's been a great honor to have to be a moderator for this very exciting panels. I think, of course, DPM, everybody knows here. Maybe I just briefly introduce the other guest. Okay, of course, the Prime Minister is here. Indiana, he's the head of Hong Kong government that look after Central Europe. And Sunny, he's the chairman of the S3, which had just signed an MOU together with SAS yesterday afternoon to collaborate with all more technology transfer. Jennifer, representing the Science Park. And Mohammed is the executive director of Hong Kong Productivity Council. So anyway, so let's get the ball rolling. I think today the topic is quite interesting. It is how the public and the private sectors to boost the innovative performance of the economy. And so I think the three crankles, the three institutions we represent from Hong Kong today, it's also it's a quasi-government organization with some sort of funding, supporting fundings. So some of them is 100% supported, some is only bid about 20%. So I think this is a pretty exciting comparison. Later you will hear from them why some organizations are 100% subvented, some organization is only partially. But before that, I think we have the Prime Minister. Maybe you say some words to see what this topic is from you anyway.
Yes, of course, just a couple of introductory words. Definitely we will let the main speakers explain the innovation ecosystem in Hong Kong. But first of all, I would like to thank Willy, who is our honorary consul of Slovakia to Hong Kong, to launch this initiative together with Juraj Miškov. And we visited Hong Kong, the institutions you see, the representative of which you see here. And we are really trying to learn from the best. As I mentioned in my introductory statement, Innovation Cluster Hong Kong Shenzhen is the best in the world, according to World Intellectual Property Organization, the chart 2025. So you can see that we are trying to engage the best of the world, and I'm looking very much forward to the discussion. So I would like maybe to let the speakers maybe to have some introductory remarks on how their institution perform and how they contribute to this very successful innovation ecosystem in Hong Kong.
Thank you very much. Actually, probably most of you doesn't know, today is a very special day in Hong Kong. Our chief executive have just announced that his policy is like policy address. So in it, there were a couple of issues which is really hot off the press, which Indiana will explain a bit more. Again, on the collaborations and education of young generations, universities, and also innovation technologies. So it's really just right off the press. So, let me pass the ball to Indiana.
Okay, thank you very much, and thank you very much for having us here today. So I would just like to give a very brief highlight of Hong Kong itself, and then the INT ecosystem in Hong Kong before passing on the time to our quasi-governmental organizations. Yes, first of all, some very brief facts that Hong Kong is a vibrant cosmopolitan city in Asia. We have the dual advantage of one country, two systems. We are a free market economy, always maintaining the simple and low tax regime, as well as free flow of capital and free flow of information. So we are actually at the south doorstep of China, and our location is actually in the middle of Asia, which put us within 5 hours flight of most major cities and markets in Asia, as well as half of the world's population. So Hong Kong provides very easy to the vast China and Asia market, make us serving as a dynamic bridge connecting China and the rest of the world. So turning to the policy address that was announced today, actually the chief executive said that for non-local students, places in university, we are actually taking up 50% non-local students. So it is actually a very good opportunity for students around the world to come study in Hong Kong, because it used to be 20% only, because we used to think that we have to reserve most of the places for local students, but we are now opening Hong Kong to China as well as the rest of the world. So we are actually increasing the percentage of non-local students from 20% to 50%. So for those of you who would like to come study in Hong Kong, it is a very good opportunity. Yes.
Thank you, Indiana. That's very impressive, how much attention you pay to the young generation, to inspire them to be involved in innovation. Maybe follow-up question, what is the success story of the Hong Kong government actually in fostering the public-private cooperation? Because this is one area we would like to learn from this success story.
Yes, sure. Thank you very much for your question. So actually, the Hong Kong government considers that public-private partnership is a key driver of innovation and technology. And we encourage interactive collaboration between, among 5 major players. Those include the government, the academia, the research sector, the industry, as well as the investment sectors. We believe that these 5 stakeholders or major key players are the key success to building INT ecosystem in Hong Kong. So for the part of the government, we actually focus on capacity building as well as providing incentive for public and private collaboration. So on the side of capacity building, we've got 3 major science parks in Hong Kong, which are the Hong Kong Science Park, we have representative here today. We've got the Cyberport, as well as the Hetao Shenzhen Hong Kong Science and Technology Innovation Cooperation Zone. So each of these zones or parks actually have very nice infrastructures, including laboratories, and they are nurturing technology startup as the ecosystem. Each of the parks have run their individual funding schemes, which provide incentives, also help for the startup there, which I think Jennifer will elaborate more further on. On the other side is providing incentive or funding to private companies to collaborate with our INT institutions as well as universities to do research. So basically, we provide funding on a sliding scale. Like if the project is a research and development project, the government contribution is a lot higher. It could be that the industry contribute 10%, and the government will contribute the rest of 90% of that R&D work. And the sponsoring institution can actually have the right to use that technology developed first. So on the other hand, like those more down to the ground industrialization or production line project, we are providing funding support on 1 to 2, like 33% from the government and 66% from the industry sector, because those are ready to make product and they can actually sell their product in the market. So the sponsorship is little lower. So on government, I've touch on capacity building and incentive provision. Oh, one more thing is that we've got R&D tax incentive scheme in Hong Kong. For the first 2 million Hong Kong dollars R&D expenditure, if you invest money to collaborate with our R&D institute, you can have 300% tax deduction of your profit. Yeah. So after 2 million, we got 200% tax deduction. So which provides, we actually aims to provide incentive for private companies to do R&D. So one more thing is on the academia and research. Like we actually welcome a lot of international students to study in Hong Kong. And Hong Kong is the only city in the world housing 5 of the world's top 10 universities, which provide us with a readily available pool of R&D capabilities, which we say that is the capability to develop technology from nothing, from 0 to 1. So, Actually, we also have our InnoHK initiative, which we collaborate with 30 world-renowned universities to do fundamental research. Our collaborator includes Harvard and Stanford University in the US, Oxford and Cambridge in UK, Karolinska and ETH Zurich in Europe. So we have got a lot of fundamental research, and we actually try to turn those research capabilities into commercial products through technology transfer and commercialization. So to build the whole environment, the government is here, the academic is here, and then the government actually provided a lot of incentives for the industry and for the professors to do the technology transfer and the commercialization. For the policy address in the past 3 years, 3 consecutive past years, we've launched 1 billion euro scheme for the technology transfer. Like in year 2022, we've launched the Research Academic Industry 1+ scheme, which actually try to attract private investment for professor in universities to set up spin-off in technology parks. We are trying to change the incentive model for the university professors to spin off. They can actually retain 70% of the profit that generated from their IPs. So they have more incentive to set up private companies. We provide matching fund, like if the professor can attract private investment, the government will provide a certain amount of matching so that the total funding available for that startup will be more. So this is on technology transfer. On the more downstream new industrialization, we have another 1 billion new industrialization funding schemes. We believe that we need to have manufacturing production in Hong Kong so that we can sell the product to earn profit. We can attract investment, which in turn will encourage the R&D research. We need the whole value chain together to build the ecosystem. So the last piece of the story is we've set up Innovation Technology Industry Oriented Fund, ITIF, which is another 1 billion euros, which invest in potential startups. So through all those funding schemes and infrastructures, we are trying to establish a healthy ecosystem from research development to technology transfer, and then to downwards new industrialization and production, which in turn will attract investment to fund the R&D. Yeah.
Thank you very much. So maybe, as I mentioned, we have 3 crankles, also we call, in Hong Kong we call crankles, actually it's quasi-government organizations. Maybe, Sunny, you want to talk a little bit about S3?
Yes. I'm Sunny Lee. I'm the chairman of S3. I don't make any salary from S3. I'm volunteering. But it's really an exciting job, and seeing Hong Kong flourishing with the INT. And I'm very happy to be here because over the last couple of days I've seen a lot, I understand a lot about Slovakia's thrust towards INT and your capability in getting there. So I'm very excited to have the opportunity to work with all of you. So about S3. S3 has been around for 25 years. We are an R&D center that really focusing on translating high-end deep tech into commercialization. So the issue with most economies, I would say, is that we have good universities and the professors are very good. In Hong Kong in particular, Hong Kong is the only place in the world that has 5 top 100 ranked universities. So we churn out a lot of very good research. However, they're all left on the shelf, right? I mean, they're not being commercialized. And as you and I know, that professors are very much into these deep research, and however, they may not be that accustomed to talking to the industry. So that's why the government conceived crankles like S3 to basically help tying the university's good research output into commercializing that into really useful, impactful, economical, impactful results for the industry as well for the society. So over the years, we have done 1,600 of those successful deep text translation. Along the way, we have also added value by creating more IP. So we have created 1,200 different patents, and that actually ranked us top 46 in the world by the NAI, the National Academy of Innovation in the US, as the top producer of a high-end research output. We have done that a lot, and we have about 700 researchers, and they are very good in talking the same language as the professors as well as the industry, and that is very important to kind of tie both ends. We have done a lot, not only in Hong Kong, but we have also helped mainland China companies or industries or academia to commercialize these results, as well as foreign overseas companies to actually help them to advance their research capability and bring opportunities of the China to them. So that's why, with Ashley taking this hat of the chairman, I can see that there are tons of opportunity that we can work with Slovakia to actually advance both economies, capability in INT, as well as maximizing the values. And I'm very much looking forward to that. Thank you.
Thank you, Sunny. A follow-up question to you. You, on behalf of ASTRI, signed the Memorandum of Understanding in cooperation with the Slovak Academy of Science. You have vast experience in commercializing, the university's innovation. So you are well advanced and ready to help Slovak Academy of Science and Slovakia to foster innovation through academia. So what are the first couple of steps? What is hindering innovation and translating innovation into commercial products in Slovakia? And what would be your recommendation? What steps should we undertake as first?
Okay. I do not claim to be an expert because I've only been here for less than 48 hours. But we had some very good exchange with SAS yesterday, and at the conclusion that we signed the Memorandum of Understanding. SAS really impresses me, as a powerhouse of a lot of very good technology, very good research, 3,000 people, with 44 or so different focuses. A lot of these areas are actually sweet spots, really are the technology of the future, including microelectronics, including a lot of biotech and biomedicine type of technology. So I think it's really a matter of finding, incenting these researchers to go out and to work with the industry, and it really takes also the type of talents and skills and experience in doing technology translation. Learning by doing, I think, is the most important part of it. So that's why after the signing, we decided that maybe the best way to do is to find some projects to just get started to work on it, so everybody can understand this whole technology translation business and how we can make that happen. The whole process, the whole discipline, and the whole governance, that comes into play. And I'm very excited and really much looking forward, to doing that with SAS.
Thank you, Sunny. So Jennifer, she's one of the council members or directors of the Science Park, and which is actually been tasked by Hong Kong government to provide foundation, lands, buildings, and also the ecosystem to support the local startups as well as multinational that want to work with Hong Kong. So maybe Jennifer, you say some words about it?
Yeah. I'm Jennifer Chen. I'm one of the board members of the Hong Kong Science Park. And like Sunny, I do that pro bono. We do have a lot of support from the Hong Kong government. And so maybe allow me to elaborate maybe some of the success factor, I think the four success factor of Hong Kong Science Park, one is the strategic location. We leverage on the hinterland of mainland China, and we are very centrally located in the Asia-Pacific region. We have a lot of funding, not only from the government, but also from investors. And in Hong Kong, we have a very vibrant IPO capital market. And so once you are ready for that route, we have a very sophisticated IPO financial capital market to help you there. And our business environment is very good, and we have very low tax rate and this kind of thing, and also like the tax incentive. And this also kind of help, particularly the smaller startup to nurture. Last but not least, I think we have a very good human capital. And, but nevertheless, we always kind of welcome more. And for that, maybe just a few figures and to illustrate how we kind of work. We have over 15,000 professionals, particularly R&D professionals with us. And in our ecosystem, there are altogether working 24,000 people. In our ecosystem, we count 2,400 tech enterprises, and this range from smaller startup, also large companies, particularly in the last few years. We see more and more mainland China companies coming to Hong Kong and to join our ecosystem. And one of the reasons is because they would like to leverage the unique position of Hong Kong being one country, two system, and to help them to go to abroad. We have many nationalities in our campus. We have over 30,000 kind of different, 30 country startups joining us. And last but not least, we are very proud. We have so far in our almost 30 years existence, we produce 13 unicorn, in which 7 of them, they are homegrown. So we have over 1,400 incubators at this moment, and which is 1,100 already kind of graduate from our program. We do have a lot of kind of buildings, and that is including offices, labs, all kind of facilities we have, and it is 400,000 square meter we have. And I'm very kind of excited to hear about the new initiative here to get a new building site here in Slovakia, and so that will be ready early next year, and we will love to see how that will develop and how we can help to design that and how to do that. Last but not least, I think that is very important, is the private sector. How to help them. We have over 500 companies in our ecosystem, and more than 1,000 investors. And because most of the companies that we are helping them, they are a little bit further, and that means thanks to the different scheme from Hong Kong government, they are able to grow. But at a certain point of time, there must be extra money from investors. And we are proud that we can tell that there are a lot of Hong Kong family offices also from overseas more and more, and to join us in our investors ecosystem. Maybe just some last number. The leverage on the private capital is 1:16. So everything we got $1 from the Hong Kong government, we are able to attract $16 from outside investors.
16, 16,
16, yes,
Yeah.
yeah, yes, yeah. 16, yeah. So at this moment, we also have our own fund, and under assets under management, the AUM is 2.2 billion Hong Kong dollar at this moment, and and that number is still growing. Yes, maybe I just leave it here, and I leave it to. Yeah, thank you.
Jennifer, maybe a follow-up question. Thank you very much for being here, because this part of creating innovation ecosystem is very important. Construction development creates a good conditions for investors and good platform, to attract foreign and domestic investors as well. Slovakia is quite experienced in building industrial parks, because so far we have attracted labor-intensive industries like automotive sector. So this demand-driven construction is a little bit different from you have been doing, focusing on innovation, science and technology. So science and technology parks is a little bit different development. And I would say that we are not so much experienced in creating such conditions for innovation companies. So what are the differences between these science development parks and industrial development parks, and what we should learn from you actually switching for this type of construction?
Okay, thank you for the question. I think I need to kind of split in two parts. If you are looking for investors to invest in more land and more buildings, these are normally larger projects, right? And so I guess the investors, they are looking for stable environment and to a certain extent also a long-term investment. That is fine, and obviously if there's any kind of incentive from the government, that would be perfect. The family office that we are working, they opt for a longer investment term. So as long as they see the value in the long term. So let's say if I today invest in your new to be opened science park, okay. So let's say if I can take property ownership, okay, is that one of it, okay? And then maybe 10 years, 20 years down the road, if I have enough tenant to generate kind of revenue regularly, and maybe 20 years down the road, am I allowed to sell to another party? So these are the more for the long-term considerations for the investors. And then on the other part, in parallel, we have investors who are investing in startup or accelerators, right? Okay, the amount on there is smaller. I guess maybe from 1-2 million to maybe 10 to 15 million, like that, okay? And that is more like what type of sector they like. So far from Hong Kong, China, they are very much interested in biomedical and everything that's related to green energy, okay? And so if it is a matter of calculation, and if they believe that this startup has that will be the next kind of booming, and that is perfectly fine. I guess for green projects, some family office, they are willing to accept a kind of small, a lower return on investment because they do believe that it is good for the world. I mean, the green energy. But for the others, sector, particularly in health, they are sometimes a little bit tricky because some of the this sector can there's a certain risk they have to calculate. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So thank you, Jennifer. And now the last one, Mohammed. He's self-director of Hong Kong Productivity Council. And maybe Mohammed say a few words about what PC do.
Yeah, before I start my my speech, that I need to make a declaration that really was my chairman of Productivity Councils before. So
I also got no pay.
Retired. That's how we start the whole thing, and I really appreciate to organize this big event for the Hong Kong delegations. Appreciate that. I'm Mohammed, but I'm executive director of HAPC. HAPC was formed back in 1967. This year we are 58 years old. We are statutory bodies. We have 1,200 employees, within which 80% are technical people. We handle around 1,500 technical projects per year, and we mainly serve the SME in Hong Kong. We always tell the story about because SME, they don't have the resources to do R&D. We call ourselves extension arm of the R&D team in those SMEs. We also do educations. We train around 58,000 individuals last year. We always joke about that. We train those experts, in the area of alphabet A, B, C, D, E, and R. A is AI, B is blockchain, C is computing, D is data, E, ESG, and robotics for all. So we are really proud of helping the SMEs with affordable solution. How we start the project is they always come with a pain point. So we are in a position to provide them the solutions. We don't do things free of charge. The government of Hong Kong give us the subsidies around 20% for a subvention. 80% we have to generate through this income by charging the SME. Of course, we make sure that those technologies are affordable and they can apply for their own use either in manufacturing or in other commercial purpose. So in three things we are really good in HAPC. First, we provide the technologies from transformations to commercialization. Second is education. Third is we help the SME to secure government fundings to help them do growth or R&D projects. And lately, we also help them to go global. We call it expanding of their markets to other parts of the world. I'm very excited about this opportunity. It's the first time I've been in this country. I was in the corporate world before this job. I never had a chance to come here. So I find this relationship is amazing. We're going to sign a MOU this afternoon, NITC, and I assure the Deputy Prime Minister that we make sure this is sustainable for this relationship, because Hong Kong also need to learn about your country. And for my organization, I like to tap into your know-how, especially in automotives, new energies, that I think there's a lot of areas we can collaborate together. So Hong Kong, it used to be a colony of Britain. So in my office, or across all the office, I think we use English as a means on documentations. In my organization, I have 11 nationalities of employees working in my organizations. And one thing is we also can help the student in Slovakia is we offer internship programs for university students. If they are good in a program, we also give them a return offer to help them to have some international exposures. So We have a 10 weeks program during summertime and an 8 weeks program in winter. So I will talk a little bit more in the afternoon when we come to my sections. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mohammed. Follow-up question for you. You are an excellent example of how to promote industry or enterprise-driven innovation. And that's another area we need to actually intensify here in Slovakia, because as I mentioned in my introductory remarks, Slovakia is lagging behind in allocating public and private investments in R&D. Currently, we are on the level something like 1.2%. Our ambition is to reach 2% of R&D. And both the public and private sector are lagging behind. So how to inspire the private sector to innovate more, and how your institution is actually contributing to this exercise?
You should not feel bad about you're behind, because I was telling my colleagues when I walk in here, it was exactly like Hong Kong 8 years back. Exactly the same. Maybe people may disagree, but I feel that way, okay? 8 years to 10 years ago, actually, Hong Kong is only the beginning of how seriously think about going to technologies and manufacturing. 8 years to 10 years max. So don't feel bad about it. You guys will able to catch up. That's not a problem. But the thing is, I want to emphasize that when we talk about innovations, two things is very important. Try to come up solution for their problem instead of you have a solution and then you go back to look for a problem. Don't do that. A lot of times, even we in Hong Kong, we have those problems before. But for my organizations, I make sure 90% of my solutions are able to be commercialized and applicable to the operations of the factories or in the offices environment. The second thing is make sure the enterprises also get to pay for the service as well. If they come here as like a government hospital, they will abuse you, and they will not be taking our technology serious. So get them, instead of getting free of charge service, it won't work, and people will just forget about what you help them, and then you just waste. You just waste the resources you receive from the government. So those are the two things that's from my experience, that we need to insist to work on to continue to help the SME in Hong Kong.
Thank you. Maybe I just want to, of course I know a bit more about HKPC, but I think one of the benchmark, I think all the crankles had to respond is we also using government or taxation to pay for it, right? Hong Kong people pay for it. So how do we measure success, right? Maybe I just come back a little bit before our government officer, because again, Indiana used to be in charge of all our crankles before. So it just happened that he's been promoted to live in Europe and look after Central Europe. We are so excited. I'm so excited about it. But he knows everything that goes on in the last 10, 15 years of the whole cycle. But maybe before I do that, so maybe Mohammed, can you say a bit about the PwC studies in which when we measure, when we have to explain to the legislator, MPs, here we call MP, why the money we give it to you? What did you do? So how do you contribute back to the Hong Kong? I think we have PwC study.
Thanks for the question, Billy. Actually, among all the crankles, maybe the way of measuring success could be different from one to each others. We came up with a system. Actually, we engaged PwC 6 years back and have them to do a survey with our customers to see what type of contributions we make back to the economy and to society. Government of Hong Kong gave me around 220 million Hong Kong, which is around 22 million euro or 20 million euro for my operations. So we also need to find out, actually, do we really create value for the communities? So we engaged PwC 6 years back and have them to do some studies and see if there's a government give me $1 or €1, how much of the multiple effects to this $1. So When Willie was my chairman, back in 2018 or 19, it was $7.8 Hong Kong. Means that $1 from Hong Kong government, we generate 7.8 times of benefit back to the communities. But this year, we're lucky the number has gone up to $11. So it means 11 times. So whenever the ledge goes, I mean, we don't call it parliament, it's similar to parliament in Hong Kong. We call it legislative council. The people come here to check on our numbers. Are you really creating value to a community? We show them this page. So I'm going to show this page in the afternoon so we can go into details. Thank you, Willie.
Thank you. Maybe Jennifer also say anything about how you measure Science Park success for.
Of course, I already mentioned 1 to
Yes.
16, but apart from a financial figure, I think that the KPI may change over time, particularly after COVID. The Hong Kong company is suffering, so now we focus a little bit more on how to bring our ecosystem to international. So to Europe, to US, Middle East, APEC. So what I'm saying that could be kind of slightly change over time. And but of course, the financial is always important. But yeah, that's
Maybe I just add one point because just now the Prime Minister was asking about industrial park and science park difference. Basically, just because Hong Kong is very small, and then we don't also we have a little bit more population than Slovakia, but our size is really tingle as compared. So manufacturing is actually it's actually migrate out of Hong Kong for many years already. So science park job is actually not to build huge manufacturing site, but it's a lot of micro manufacturing, testing, trying R&D research. So after that was being done, the manufacturing would then go to the real factory, maybe in Shenzhen, maybe in Southeast Asia, maybe any part of the world, to replicate the success. So the building itself is high-rise, beautiful glass building, which is not a typical manufacturing site. But what they do is really R&D research, knowledge. And so the success measure, again, is how all these 13 unicorns we have also meant it's a contribution back to Hong Kong that we can be innovative and we can be successful, right? So Sunny, maybe you also say for more.
Yeah,
how do you
Mohammed
measure?
kind of reminded me. I forgot to mention that Willie and I used to go to the same primary school and secondary school, and we were
Somehow we are all very related. I don't know why.
we were in the same grade, right? But that's all I'm going to share. None of the secret that I'm going to share with you about his childhood, right? But anyway, KPI. We have a very quantitative KPI, and one thing that we're living with is called the level industry income, right? For us, we're doing a lot of 0 to 1 and 1 to 10, and we want to make sure that a fair amount of industry contribution will reflect the fact that we're doing something that's relevant to industry. So in the end, I had talked about all this government funding and 10% to 90% and all that. So there's a figure that we need to strive for, which is the level industry income has to be at least 35%. What that means is every $1 we get from the government to fund the project, we need to raise 35 cents from the industry, right? And not less than that. So that kind of keeps everything relevant to the industry. And I'm very happy to share that we just went to the Legislative Council yesterday to kind of get grilled by these legislators. And ASRI report card is close to 60%. So every $1 we got from the government, we are able to raise $60, 60 cents. This is something that we are very excited about because it's come to show that all these technology are relevant to the industry, and we'll continue to strive that. Although I'm not going to hit 100% because once we do that, then we become a private entity, and that's not good. We need to be continuously funded by the government so that we can always chase after something that's cutting edge, so that we can do things that the industry may not see profitable to do at this point in time. But once we become the catalyst to get that to the point that it becomes commercially viable, then it's another success story for the industry and for the economy. So this is what we will continue to strive for.
Yeah, thank you. Maybe before I go to the Deputy Prime Minister, maybe Diana, so you hear your three babies doing a little bit better. So when you give us some money, are you happy with us?
Okay, thank you very much for Willie's question. I mean, the job for the government is relatively easy. I mean, for most government in the world, we just redistribute the resources to the right person and then find the right person in the right place. So obviously we got three very capable Quangos persons here with me. And then actually on redistribution and other point of what government do is removing some regulatory hurdles, maybe like if we want to develop medicine, we need some maybe IP registration regime and maybe some research institute that can recognize that particular medicine for use in the public market, and a lot of different hurdles in different countries. We need to remove those hurdles for the INT ecosystem to prosper. And on resource allocation, we measure input. Input is that how much we need we invest on those organizations, and then how much we invest to the private organizations. So the measurement Sunny just mentioned, level of income from industry, that's input measurement. And what Mohammed and Jennifer just said about the social economic impact assessment is more like an output assessment. Because the problem that government usually faces is that INT investment take a very long time to have return. Maybe 1 decade, 2 decades, you won't have a unicorn. But then you have to be answerable to the resources that you have spent. You have to be answerable in the Legislative Council or in the Parliament here. So that we need all those study and report to prove that our work is actually working before the tangible result can be realized in the economy. Yeah, that's more or less.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
So maybe, Prime Minister, you have the last word?
Yes, maybe finally I'm here to listen, five of you, because I'm here among the experts. But what I think currently is important for Slovakia is, the excellence that Hong Kong provides, its talent, the system of commercialization of ideas, very good infrastructure, trust among the main stakeholders, and clear deliverables, so KPIs that can provide this excellent output, either 1 to 11, and Jennifer, you mentioned 116. So I think that it's a long way to go, but Mohammed, you mentioned that Hong Kong was there 8 years ago, where you see Slovakia. I thought the gap was much bigger, so I'm glad to hear this. I think that NITC will provide answers for all of these challenges. I'm very happy that HKPC can sign MOU with newly created NITC, and thank you very much, Astri, for signing MOU with SAS. Looking very much forward to cooperation, and definitely as a political figure, I guarantee there will be very strong follow-up to your visit, and I look very much forward to our cooperation. Thank you very much again for coming to Slovakia.